My roommate said I was overreacting when I asked her to stop using my cast iron pan. She laughed and told her boyfriend, "Some people are just territorial about kitchenware." I didn't argue. I just quietly replaced every single item she'd been borrowing without asking. I'd been working from home for 6 months, and honestly, I thought having a roommate would be fine. Vanessa seemed cool when she moved in. Graphic designer, late 20s, said she valued personal space and keeping things clean. For the first month, everything was perfect. Then I started noticing my expensive cast iron skillet kept appearing in the sink, caked with burnt food and sitting in water. I'd spent 2 years seasoning that pan, building up the perfect non-stick surface. My grandmother taught me how to care for cast iron properly. You never soak it. You definitely never leave it sitting in water overnight. But Vanessa would cook these elaborate meals, use my pan, then just dump it in the sink and go to bed. The coating was getting destroyed. I asked her nicely the first time, "Hey, could you use the regular pans instead? Cast iron needs special care." She barely looked up from her phone. "It's just a pan. You're being dramatic." I tried explaining how cast iron works, how water ruins the seasoning, but she cut me off. "I'll be more careful." She wasn't. 2 days later, same thing. Pan in the sink, soaking. I asked again, a little firmer this time. She sighed like I was the most exhausting person on the planet. That night, I heard her on FaceTime in her room. The walls are thin. She was laughing, telling her boyfriend about how I'd confronted her over a pan. She literally gave me a lecture about cookware. Some people are just weirdly possessive about kitchen stuff. It's exhausting living with someone so uptight. Her boyfriend's voice came through the speaker. "Sounds like a nightmare, babe. You should find a new place." They both laughed. I sat on my bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling embarrassed and angry. That's when I started paying attention to what else she'd been using. It was like a switch flipped, and suddenly, I saw it everywhere. My hairdryer was sitting on her bathroom counter. I'd been looking for that for weeks, thinking I'd misplaced it. My nice towels, the thick, expensive ones, were folded in her closet. I'd noticed my towels disappearing, but assumed they were in the wash. My streaming passwords were logged into her laptop. Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, all on my accounts. She'd been wearing my leather jacket to work. I'd seen her in it twice, but thought maybe I was mistaken. It looked exactly like mine because it was mine. Even my phone charger was permanently plugged in by her bed. My good one. The fast-charging brick I'd paid $30 for. She never asked, not once. Just assumed everything in the apartment was communal property. My stuff became our stuff without any conversation, so I made a plan. On Monday, I changed every streaming password. On Tuesday, I went into her bathroom while she was at work and took back my hairdryer. On Wednesday, I collected my towels from her room and my charger from her nightstand. Thursday morning, I retrieved my leather jacket from her closet. Then I went to the hardware store and bought a lock for my bedroom door. Installed it that afternoon. By Thursday evening, Vanessa was sitting on the living room couch looking absolutely miserable. Her hair was still damp, hanging limply around her face. She'd clearly tried to dry it with something, but it wasn't working. She kept picking up her phone, then putting it down with this frustrated expression. The TV was on regular cable because she couldn't log into any streaming services. She was wearing this thin hoodie, hugging herself like she was freezing. It was 60 degrees outside, barely cold, but apparently that jacket she'd been wearing everywhere wasn't actually hers. I later found out she donated her own jacket last year during a closet purge, thinking she could just keep using mine. She sat there for an hour, getting more visibly upset. Finally, she stood up and walked to my bedroom door, knocked softly. I opened it. She looked exhausted. "Why are you doing this? Did I do something?" Her voice was small, confused. She genuinely didn't understand. I held up my cast iron pan, the one I'd just finished cooking dinner with, perfectly seasoned and cared for, looked her straight in the eye and said, "Some people are just territorial about their belongings." She moved out 2 weeks later.